This is part 2 of painting a model for a friend, dedicated to a pal that has helped me get my head around filming and editing for YouTube. Since his favourite colour is purple, I'll be painting this Terminator in the Emperor's Children colour scheme, though you can use it for any model you like. Welcome to Goblins and Aliens. Like part 1, I'll be attacking this model in a sub-assembly manner. To start, I have sprayed the model with the Colour Forged Tempest Blue with a quick dusting of Vampire Violet. Using blue as the base coat will have an impact on the purple armour. It will also keep the overall temperature of the model on the cool side. The first mix is purple with black-red and a wee bit of black. It will take a couple of passes for an impact. This time I'm not starting at the end of each panel, roughly 10% away from the edge and drawing up to the highest part of each section. With each pass, I'll make sure to start the brushstroke another 5 to 10% in. Stacking the transparent layers like this will help create a smoother gradient. When the first colour is established, I adjust the mixture in favour of the main colour purple. I do this by adding extra purple to the mixture and minimising the black, following the same gradual shrinkage steps as the previous colour. Changing up the mixture to purple and Warlord purple, still thinning to a glazed consistency, smoothly applying and shrinking the target area to the high point. After a few coats, drop the purple in favour of straight Warlord purple. Finishing off with a tiny drop of ghost green into the Warlord purple. The blue elements of the green interact with the purple very nicely. It's not overly important to have a full understanding of colour theory, but a little goes a long way. The more I learn about it, the more excited I am about my next project. Non-metallic metal can be daunting for some folk, especially those new to the hobby. I do encourage you to try it. It might not click with you straight away, but each time you'll try, you'll gain that extra understanding and confidence. I will make a separate video about NMM. For now, this is a quick paint by numbers recipe for NMM gold. I start with chocolate brown. This is a good starting point for the gradient of gold. Then Japanese uniform World War II, or any caramel tone of yellow. Averland Sunset is perfect for the next step. It's a strong, warm tone that packs a punch. Flash Gitz Yellow is another jump in vibrancy and brightness. Ice Yellow for the final shine. The goal is to push the contrast to fool the eye into believing it's a metallic material. You can skip this and use gold paint. It is what you are comfortable with. Like the last video, I will paint the crux in the same colour and style. Start with black, then a black mix with deep sea green. Straight deep sea green, stepping up with a mix of deep sea green and deck tan, finishing with pure deck tan. Optionally, you can skip the mixed tone in between each of the steps for a sharper contrast. I'm trying something different with the heavy weapon. Leaving the underpaint or the colour Zenith Prime, I'm jumping straight to the edge highlights. The goal is to force a version of object source lighting. Deep sea green on every edge, then a mix of deep sea green and deck tan, painted on thinner lines along the edges. At the highest point, I finish with pure deck tan. Time for hazard stripes. Cutting masking tape into stripes and placing them in a diagonal pattern. To get the battered worn look, I use torn bit of sponge held by tweezers, dabbing the paint on, from a brown and all the tones up to a yellow. Painting skin can be a big challenge for a lot of us. It can easily look messy or cartoony. The trick is to gradually build up the layers from either a warm shadow or a cool shadow. For this reason, I begin with a purple base mixed with a slight touch of red. This will lean the base into the warm section. Purple does consist of blue and red, which are both warm and cool. After the base is done, I paint the eyes red, knowing that when I'm applying the next layer of skin tone, it will clean up any of the splotch marks. The next layer I add is a ghost green and a purple mix. This gives a pale, unhealthy look to the skin. Applying a thin coat to allow the base tone to show through. Before edge highlighting, I take the opportunity to clean up any overspill and paint any smaller details like lenses and purity seals. Depending on your preferred taste, you can fully highlight around each panel or only on the upward facing edges. The same goes with the thickness of each line. Remembering, if your miniatures are on a tabletop, they will be viewed from a 4 to 5 foot distance. Personally, I like to start with a shade below the final highlight, then focus on the top of each panel. For the base, I stick to my preferred method of smashing colours into one another. I find this is the best way to keep the stone colour random. It is difficult to replicate nature as we can't help creating patterns. I start with a brown, then add yellow, orange, and then cream. Finishing off with a dry brush of pale sand and orange. This Terminator was dedicated to Chris. He has been a big help in my understanding of filming and editing, and he continues to help me. Thank you, buddy. I thoroughly enjoy painting this model. I especially like the masking tape hazard stripes. I'll be doing them again. I've almost cracked the undercoat paint method. I'll keep pushing the idea until it sits right. If I could change anything, I would add a bit more colour variation to the weapons. It doesn't look bad, but it looks rushed, even though it wasn't. The underpaint method didn't land the way I imagined it would on the weapons. With that said, I'm very happy with the overall model, and I am looking forward to painting the next one. If you have found any value in this video, please consider liking and subscribing, and if you could share this video or leave a comment, that would help greatly. Thank you, and take care.